My name is Gary Ames. My wife and I bought this property, well, we bought our house in 1986, and we bought this adjoining 76 acres of property in 2012. And since that time, we've been doing a lot of thinning of the property, basically crop tree release, and especially the last 5 years, I've cut a lot of beech because of the beech bark disease. In the process of doing a lot of thinning, it's really been educational because you find a lot of trees that are kind of hidden by the beech. So one of the interesting things is this large elm tree behind us, and it's really the only one I've found on 82 acres of land here, so it's kind of neat. In the background behind that, there's kind of a brush pile at the bottom there. That's a big old beech tree. A lot of beech trees die from beech bark disease, but that one has just reached the end of its life. It's growing on kind of on a ledge there, so it probably doesn't have the best soil. This area beyond our property has a lot of ledges and some caves. So there are bobcat around here. We do see fisher from time to time, so, and there's a lot of coyotes. What had actually happened is a doe and a yearling had come out through here, and I had cut down some maple trees, and deer really like to eat buds off the trees in the winter. So I'd cut them down to give them something to eat. And they'd come out through here, and a bobcat was hiding under one of these hemlock trees or something, and grabbed the young deer and killed it and dragged it down this hill and stashed it in some pine trees down here. I like to carry a little, this is glyphosate with blue dye in it. Glyphosate is the active ingredient in Roundup. So a lot of people don't like that, but there's a lot of stuff that if you don't do something, the invasives are going to take over our world. So this is a very effective way to deal with them without spraying a lot of stuff. That's a big one. So this is an area that this was really grown in heavily with a lot of maple and some beech, and I cut this off probably 10 years ago to thin it out and let the trees grow a little bigger, and it's done pretty well. You can see a couple pine trees that I've girdled. If you cut them down, they may break some other small trees in the process. If you girdle them, they'll just die, and then they won't be blocking the sun to the other trees, and they become good cavity trees for birds and woodpeckers and all that kind of stuff. So you'll see several dead pine trees here. If you look around, there's small trees with pink ribbons on them. Those are white oaks that I've marked just to kind of keep track of them when I first found them. But as time has gone on, found more and more. Kind of right between those two pines there's a fairly good size, maybe 12-inch diameter white oak, and another one down over the bank a little bit. So some nice white oak here. When I had AJ come a couple years ago, he brought Ethan Tapper and Robert Nelson and Dave Pagnelli, 3 other county foresters, and we got to this area, and a lot of these small white oaks have been chewed by the deer, so they're all crooked and everything. So I believe it was Robert Nelson told me during the winter, cut them off right at the ground, and because they have a nice root structure and everything, they will pop right back up and grow very quickly. You know, the first ones I cut were like in the middle of March, and by June they were 3 feet tall. So it was really cool. We have a pretty good diversity of trees here. So as far as regrowth, if we just get more of what's here, but definitely red oak, white oak, hickory, I'm particularly fond of yellow birch trees. They're pretty healthy tree and also real pretty lumber. I have a sawmill, so when in the process of thinning out stuff, if I have some trees that are reasonable quality, then I cut them up and sell them. The plan is that in the future, if we keep things healthy and things grow well, then we would probably do some logging. I'm 69, so if we'd probably do one major logging event in my life, that would probably be all I ever oversee. But we don't do this for ourselves, really. Hopefully we do it for the future.